One of the more frequent questions asked by people who are traveling to Iceland is, will I need some sort of an adapter or converter to be able to charge my electronics while over there? Let me arm you with some knowledge. Okay, I'm going to try to make this a brief condensed package of info for you, not to spend too much time on it. I want to say something before I mention the three main topics in the video, and that is that Iceland uses the Euro standard. So if you are either from continental Europe or have been there before, or you've already found the information about how to convert or adapt to the electrical system in Europe, same thing applies here. We use the Euro standard. Okay, that out of the way, three things I want to mention. Number one, differences in outlets and plugs, because they do differ throughout the world. Second, the voltage of the electrical system, because that also differs throughout the world, and this does matter. And thirdly, how do these things apply, and specifically on the difference between small electrical gadgets and larger appliances, if you're going to bring any. All right, first off, the outlets and the plugs. The Icelandic/Euro system uses F or C type plugs. These are pretty much the same. F is the one you'll see all over, and it's the standard one, and it's the grounded one. It has these small grounding connections on the sides, and you can fit either F or C type plugs into those. And this is the first question, and this is the adapter thing. If you come from a part of the world which has a different plug type, doesn't have these two circular pins in the middle and nothing else, you need an adapter. You need something to change from one plug type to the other. Second thing is voltage. So in Iceland and in Europe, we have a 220 volt 50 Hertz system, whereas some parts of the world might even have 240 volts like the UK, but there are large locations, the US and I think parts of South America as well, maybe other parts of North America also, I don't know about Canada, use a 110 volt 60 Hertz system. The hertz really don't matter that much. It's the 220 volts versus the 110 volts which is important. And then you need to think about whether you need to add an actual converter. Not just an adapter for the plugs, but an ability to convert from your 110 system, if you come from that part of the world, to a 220 volt system, which we use here in Iceland, lest you will damage your electronics. Now, practically, this isn't that big of a concern. If you look at the charging stations or chargers for most of your smaller electronics, you will see, if you peer into the small lettering on it, look at the input side, and you will see the input covers 110 to usually 220 or 240 volts. And if it does that, if this is what it says on the input side of your particular charging device for the electronics that you want to use, then you're safe and you just need the adapter to fit the right type of plug. The gadget itself is doing the internal conversion for you and can cover the width of different systems worldwide. And for most of the things you're going to be traveling with, this is the case. You're not going to bring a microwave oven or a vacuum cleaner to Iceland. I don't assume you're going to do so, but for larger appliances like these, you would need a converter because they are made for a specific voltage, for a 110 system or a 220 or even a 240 system. Often 220 and 240 are the same though. There are some practical, potential, possible appliances that you're gonna bring which are voltage specific. This is the charging station for the charging apparatus for my beard trimmer, and this one, even though that's just a small electrical device, is only made for 220 to 240 volts. So if I was traveling in the US, for instance, I would need a converter for this one. Same thing applies to hair dryers and those kind of appliances. They might be voltage specific for your country. But so this is basically it. For most of your modern, high-tech, small voltage or small electrical devices, the charging stations or charging things, charging apparati, will have the conversion already built into it, and you only need to think about the adapters. But just make sure, look at the labeling, take a look at what it says, make sure that the input covers the voltage in Iceland, that it covers 220 volts, and then you're good to go. I hope this answers some of those questions and explains in as little detail as possible. I didn't want to go too technical, make this a bit more practical. If questions pop up, anything you need to know, want to know, feel free to put those in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.